Well, good morning, everyone. My name is David, and I want to welcome you to Sunburst Sanctuary for our Sunday service. Today is Mother's Day, and we celebrate the qualities of mother. There's a quote on the song sheet. Even as a mother protects her child with her life, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world. Buddha. I wanted to begin by reading a little bit from Paramahansa Yogananda, and I'm not sure if everyone here is familiar with Paramahansa Yogananda, but he was an East Indian yogi, and he came to America in 1920 to bring the teaching of Kriya Yoga meditation to the West. And he ended up staying here, and he wrote the book Autobiography of a Yogi, which probably impacted more people than any other book in the 20th century in terms of spirituality. He was also the teacher of our founder here at Sunburst, Norm Paulson. Norm spent some time, about 5 years, with Yogananda back in the late 40s and early 50s. So we have a great admiration and love for Yogananda. He not only wrote Autobiography of a Yogi, but he wrote many other books, and he gave talks all the time, and they were recorded and put into different volumes. So this is from the book The Divine Romance. In man, love expresses itself in various ways. We find love between man and wife, parent and child, brother and sister, friend and friend. Love is a universal emotion. Its expressions are distinguished by the nature of the thought through which it moves. Hence, when love passes through the heart of the father, fatherly consciousness translates into fatherly love. When it passes through the heart of the mother, motherly consciousness translates into motherly love. When it passes through the heart of the lover, the consciousness of the lover gives that universal love still another quality. It is not the physical instrument, but the consciousness through which the love moves that determines the quality of love expressed. Thus, a father may give motherly love. A mother may express friendly love. A lover may express divine love. Fatherly love is wisdom born and based on reason. Uppermost in the father's consciousness is the thought, this is my child, to take care of and to protect. He does this unselfishly, expressing his love by doing things to please and instruct the child, as well as providing for its needs. But fatherly love is partly instinctive, as are all forms of familial love. The father cannot help but love the child. Motherly love is broader. It is based on feeling rather than reason. True mother love is unconditional. We can say that in many ways it is more spiritual and therefore greater than most human expressions of love. God planted in the heart of the mother, a love for the child that is unconditional, regardless of the child's merit or behavior. Even if the child in later life becomes a murderer, the mother's love remains steady, unchanged, whereas the father may be more impatient and less inclined to forgive. The unconditional love of the mother is perhaps the human love closest to the perfection of God's love. The true mother gives her child even when no one else will, forgives her child even when no one else will. That kind of love exemplifies God's love. He forgives his children no matter what sins they have committed. Now, who could have placed this love in the mother's heart save God? In true maternal love, God gives us distinct proof that he loves us unconditionally, no matter how poorly we behave. I wonder, I'm imagining that everyone here, to some degree, can relate to those feelings. Whether we can remember being a young child ourselves and the shenanigans we tried to pull and get away with, and just how loving and forgiving and compassionate our mother was with us. If by chance we weren't raised by our mother, well, we still had a mother figure, a surrogate mother of some sort. Because like Yogananda is saying here, you don't have to be a mother, you don't have to be a father, you don't have to be a friend, really, to be able to channel and to embody these divine qualities of love that come from Spirit. I think we all know certain men who are kind of more motherly than fatherly, and certain women who might be more fatherly than motherly. It's not just confined to sexes. Divine love knows no limit and can express itself anywhere, anytime, through anyone, if we open ourselves up to it. So today, with the honoring the qualities of the mother, I wanted to, there were four things that kind of popped into my mind. Our birth mother, of course. There's no way we could be here. We didn't have one, each one of us. And then with that, our surrogate mother, whoever that might be. And I'll touch on that a little bit later. Mother Earth, who is the mother of all humanity in terms of our physical existence here. We couldn't be alive in these bodies if we didn't have a place to manifest in the universe. And Mother Earth just keeps on giving. No matter how much we take, she just keeps giving. Like any mother. And then, of course, Divine Mother, who is the consciousness and the force behind all of the motherly expressions. So I know that probably most of the people in the room here or watching online have read Autobiography of a Yogi. But I'm going to talk a little bit about a chapter in that book where when Yogananda was just 11 years old, he lost his mother to an illness. And it devastated him, as any of us could imagine. And maybe some of us don't have to imagine. Maybe we've lived through that. But he was inconsolable. And he just, was in anguish. And he kept looking and looking for years for signs of his mother. And she had big, dark, lustrous eyes. And those were the eyes that he was looking for. And so I want to read here. He says, "Years passed before any reconciliation entered my heart. Storming the very gates of heaven, my cries at last summoned the Divine Mother. Her words brought final healing to my wounds. It is I who have watched over thee life after life in the tenderness of many mothers. See in my gaze the two black eyes, the lost beautiful eyes thou seekest." And I want to talk a little bit about that, that encounter too, and how that came about. Yogananda, so when he was 11, his mother passed away, and when he was 17, in 1910, he went into the monastery of his teacher, Sri Yukteswar. So there's a story in his book right before he goes into the monastery, or right before he meets Sri Yukteswar. So I'm going to guess that Yogananda may have been 15 or 16 years old. But when he was young, I mean, since he was really, really little, he sought out all of the saints and the holy men that he possibly could in India, because he had a real burning in his heart to know the spiritual truths. And there were some really realized beings, men and women in India, and there still are. It's a wealth of spirituality, that country. So he tells a story. Let's see here. He tells a story of where he went to visit this man, Master Mahasaya is what he goes by here. And it was the first time that he had gone to visit him. And he went to, this is kind of an interesting little twist, but this man was living in the house in Calcutta where Yogananda's family had lived, and where his mother, just a very short few years beforehand, had passed away. So this guy just, I don't know, you think he just happened to be living there, but does anything just happen to happen? But he was there, living in this house, and he went to see him because he had heard stories about his realization. So he knocked on the door, or tried to get the master's attention. And he said, "Little sir, please be seated. I am talking to my Divine Mother." And Yogananda said at that point, that stirred up such a deep emotion in him. He thought that when he lost his mother, his earthly mother, that was for sure the worst thing that could ever happen to him. But when he realized that Divine Mother was so close and that he was missing out on being with her, it brought up even a deeper a set of emotions. And he prayed to this saint. He pleaded with him, "Please intercede for me with Divine Mother so that I might also be able to have contact with her." And the teacher, Master Mahasaya, I think Yogananda could be very convincing. But he did agree to intercede. And then that night, Yogananda went home to meditate, and Divine Mother came to him and spoke to him, and at some point shared these words that he had shared in this earlier chapter. So Yogananda, he had the great misfortune of losing his mother at such a young age, but in a kind of an odd way, it also inspired him to look deeper and deeper for Divine Mother. And it seems like everything that really happens that's good for us or bad for us is driven by desire. And he had a deep desire to know these deep truths and to know the divine aspect or the feminine aspect of divine consciousness. Master Mahasaya, for anyone who's interested or maybe a little bit familiar with this story, he also happened to be the same disciple who lived with slipping my mind. The Gospel of Ramakrishna. Thank you. Thank you so much. So at that time, he just signed his name M to the things that he wrote. But he was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna lived in the late 1800s, and M, or Master Mahasaya, was there with him. And so there was a really great story. There's many stories with Sri Ramakrishna, but at one point M was talking to Sri Ramakrishna, and he said, "Oh, I really would like to bring my cousin here to meet you because I know how much I'm benefiting from your company, but he's not really interested in spiritual matters, but I still would really like to bring him here." And Sri Ramakrishna said, "Tell him we're having fish soup." So he would do whatever he needed to do to try to hook somebody and get them in there and get them exposed. And if they then became interested in what he had to say, well, then they were interested. And if not, then kind of like no harm done. I wanted to also read just a little bit from Norm's book, Life, Love, God. And again, Norm's the founder of Sunburst. And his experience with Divine Mother as well. And he was in a meditation at this point. He said, "Suddenly I felt an incredible presence moving toward me from above. Softly I began to hear the words, 'My son, my son,' floating through interdimensional space towards me. From deep within came a surging forth of energy from the center of my consciousness, which seemed at that time to be in the region of my heart. I saw the outer fabric of my physical mind, the self-conscious ego, and the personality which I had developed stand aside as the pure force of the pure self within my soul came forth to meet the apparition. The pure self, my true image, spoke directly to the presence. 'O Mother Divine, I thought never to see you again.' From the essence of her immaculate presence, I heard, 'My son, I am always near.' The luminous form, shining brightly with a blue radiance, ringed with purple, hovered before me, suspended in inner space. It was Divine Mother as described by Yogananda. Incredible, inconceivable." And I wanted to mention, before we go into meditation also, I had mentioned earlier that about surrogate motherhood. And Yogananda, when he talked about losing his mom, he had a number of brothers and sisters, and some were older and some were younger, I think. And his dad was really a smart guy. And he was very fatherly, practical and reasonable and along those lines. But he said that as the years went by, Yogananda said that as the years went by, his father started to soften. And he began to exhibit the motherly qualities of compassion and the ability to touch deeply through the heart, not just through reason. And then I wanted to just mention, I was thinking about how what a critical role mothers play, because we come from what everybody says, and I believe it, those who have experienced it directly, that we come from a place, a land, that is just pure love. And we come into these bodies, these physical bodies, where we're very kind of compressed down, and it's not that easy for us to perceive the place that we have come from and the deep, deep love that resides there. And for people who have gone there and have come back to talk about it, they say their words can't even express the deep, deep love of this land, of our true home that we're all going back to. So I was thinking about mothers, and they innately have within them the language of love. And they are such a key bridge between that world and this world. They give us this unconditional love, which we are familiar with from where we've come from. But this world has other languages as well. But in the beginning, we just get this language of love. And this love, this deep, deep love, complete acceptance and complete tolerance no matter what we are going through. And it is such a blessing. I'd like to take a few minutes now and have a quiet meditation, maybe about 15 minutes. And we can reminisce within ourselves of the beautiful relationships that we've had that have been influenced by Mother Divine, whether it's through our mother or through maybe some direct experience we've had in our own meditations or in our own lives with this unseen force that's always standing with us and guiding us. I'd like to end the service to, like I said earlier, talk a little bit about Mother Earth. And I'm sure most everyone's aware or maybe been reading online or watching things on TV, but recently we had a really successful mission to beyond the moon with the Artemis II spacecraft. And there were 4 people, and they went farther than anyone has ever gone before from the Earth. So they had some really great perspective from being out there so far away. And I was watching some interviews with them. And it was kind of cool because there were 4 men and 1 woman. And they were all talking, they said, yeah, we did all kinds of science things while we were up there. And that's all recorded, and it's incredible, the things that we're learning through the science that we did while we were up there. But the thing that was most profound to them was the bonding that they felt on a human level to each other, and how it made them feel about the perspective of their life here on Earth. And so I wanted to read what the woman, Christina Koch, had to say. She says, I couldn't sleep this morning, so I did write some words down in my mind, and I'm going to try to share them with you today. 10 days ago, this journey started with our mission manager knocking on my door in crew corridors and whispering, Christina, we're going for launch. Get up. And it ended last night when my nurse on the ship put me to bed and said, ma'am, can I give you a hug? So a lot has happened since then, or between those 2 moments. But the start and the end were human moments here on Earth. Several years ago, I was giving a speech, and I was doing my usual talk about crew and crewmates and teamwork, and someone asked the question, what makes a crew? What is the difference about a crew than a team? And I was like, I got this. I opened my mouth confidently to tell them everything I knew about being a crewmate, and everything that came out of my mouth was completely without value. I was like, yeah, crews, they're in space, and they work together, but they eat together too. So they're a good crew, and boats have crews. You're a crew if you're on a boat. That'd be good. That'll make you a crew. She says, but in the last 10 days, I have gotten a little bit of a better answer on that question. A crew is a people or a group that is in it all the time, no matter what, that is stroking together every minute with the same purpose, that is willing to sacrifice silently for each other, that gives grace and holds accountable. A crew has the same cares and the same needs, and a crew is inescapably beautiful, dutifully linked. So when we saw the tiny Earth, people asked our crew what impressions we had. And honestly, what struck me wasn't necessarily just Earth. It was all the blackness around it. Earth was just this little lifeboat hanging undisturbingly in the universe. So I know I haven't learned everything that this journey has yet to teach me. But there's one new thing I know, and that is, on planet Earth, you are the crew. It's hard to imagine, I'm sure, when you can see Earth from space, and we've seen pictures. It is so beautiful and so majestic. And it just looks like the most peaceful place there could possibly be. And we know that we have a lot of work to do here together to help the evolution of consciousness on this planet, to get beyond all the conflict and all the things that are not of spirit. And we will get there. We are the crew, and it is our purpose and our honor to be able to, pull together on those oars and practice virtue and treat each other with kindness and with love and turn the other cheek and do all of the things that will help turn the energy around on this planet. Because she is our mother, and Mother Divine, and the consciousness of Mother Divine permeates the atmospheres of this planet and is available to us to open up to and to express. Please join me for a closing prayer. O Divine Mother, Divine Father, we are so blessed to be aware of you, that you are here with us, watching us, sustaining us, and always ready to give us a hand, to help us be the best people, the best human beings that we can be here on earth. Thank you so much. Amen.
Soham Shivaham, 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 Soham Shivaham. I am that I am, 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 I am that I am. I'm neither body nor mind, immortal self I am. I'm neither body nor mind, immortal self I am. I'm neither body nor mind, immortal self I am. I'm neither body nor mind, immortal self I am. I'm neither body nor mind, immortal self I am. I am that I am, Soham Shivaham. I'm neither body nor mind, immortal self I am. I am that I am, Soham Shivaham. Soham Shivaham, 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 Soham Shivaham. I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am, Soham Shiva Ham. I am that I am.